find out the important topics. If you are somebody that you say that I cannot memorize lot of things, lot of sections, and students actually fear of studying JIGL because they say that yes, the subject is very vast and how will we study and how will we remember sections. And as I told you in the last point also, that remember important sections only, but how would you know which is the important section? I would highly suggest you to look for important points, important topics and repeated questions. In these three things you will definitely clear JIGL very easily. So focus on all these things and find these things from study material scanners and good reference books. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am CS Jaspreet. I hope you all are doing well and studying, and I hope you all are taking good care of yourself as weather is changing and I am also feeling a little under weather. So please cooperate with me as my voice is not that clear, but I'm trying to convey and I'm trying to put out the content for all of you. So I hope you will manage and cooperate and like the video as well. So today's video is requested by one of our subscribers. Today's video is the work study tips Wednesday video. So all of us know today I take up the request of one of our subscribers. So today I will be taking up the request of one of our subscribers, that is Sandeep Rai. So he has asked me the tips to prepare for JIGL subject, that is the subject of jurisprudence, that is the first subject of CS Executive. And yesterday only one of my subscriber DM'd me on my Instagram also for asking for the tips, that is Chitra. So both of you, on your request, I am coming up with this video. I hope this video helps. So I'll be telling you the tips to prepare for JIGL subject. Now the disadvantage of this subject that I will start is that first of all there is no bifurcation, right? Because like other subjects, you get a particular bifurcation, this much I have to study from this part and this much marks, and that is always helpful. But when you don't know how much you have to study, there is no bifurcation. So basically it's like I have to study all, and in all it has total 17 chapters. That's like huge number of chapters, and every chapter is a separate act in itself, which again is very challenging to study. But as I told you, you are going to become company secretaries and you have to be expert with your legal knowledge. You have to be expert with that, right? And I was just seeing how JIGL comes, how it all it is. So of course this is a disadvantage, but you have to cope up with that. You have to see how you're going to score. Now how you have to prepare. First tip I would give you is that pick one chapter or one act at a time. Don't mix too many chapters together. Just pick one chapter or one act and give it a good read. Now what happens is that when you concentrate on one act, that is the best way to study. Instead of studying from this also, that also, whatever book you're following, there, if suppose that book has like bifurcated any particular act for you, so make sure you're studying it all together, right? That way you'll understand better, and also it will help you to retain your memory also. Because what happens that if you'll study something now and something later, that is not the right way. Because as I've seen in study material, they have made like one chapter for one act. That is the best thing. But in case you're referring any other book also, then please make sure that you are taking up or studying the whole act together, right? Because that way of course you will understand it better, right? Secondly, give it a first read. Now when you pick the chapter, just give it a plain read, right? Don't interpret it, or don't try to push yourself that I would just see how it goes and I would just understand everything on first read. That never happens. So just give it a plain read and move ahead with that. Thirdly, give it a second read and make short notes. Now after giving a plain read, then comes the time that you have to study it thoroughly and make notes. Short notes for a subject like JIGL is very, very important. I can't stress less that yes, you need short notes for such a subject, because if you not make short notes, keep this in mind that you will not be able to revise it properly at the end also. Because when you don't have a holiday and when you don't have time, how will you revise like 17 17 acts or 17 chapters, it is not practically possible. For that, make short notes. And while making short notes, make sure that you are, writing the act's name and its year correctly and memorizing it as well. This should be, bang on correct. There should not be any mistake in the name of the act and the year of the act. Then coming to sections, try to learn at least the important sections that I will tell you, because it is very, very important to mention the sections. But as you know, there are 17 acts and maybe you will not be able to remember all of them. So I would say that at least remember the important ones. And also make sure while making the short notes, write down the legal terminologies correctly. This is very, very important, because if your legal terms or your legal terminologies are not right, trust me, you'll not be able to answer the paper. Because I was going through the guideline answers also, and there they ask so many questions related to the legal terminologies, legal terms, legal phrases, legal, topics that are very much, I would say, they are very, very specific, right? And they ask it like directly only, that what is this, what is that, or explain this legal term, or explain this maxim. So this is very, very important that you stress there, because I, went through the guideline answers of JIGL and I saw that they ask such questions directly. So you should emphasize and work on them and learn all those things, at least the correct act names, their year, and secondly the legal terminologies, and make short notes out of them, right? Short notes in itself, they should be very, very specific, very, very, precise. Now for that, I have also made a video on one, technique of taking short notes, that is the Cornell note taking technique. If you have not seen that video, I'll leave the link in the I button above so that you can see that video, how to take short notes, and you can use this technique in making short notes for your subject. So this is how you should make short notes, and make sure you're making them. They are very, very helpful at the end, at the time of revision. They are very, very helpful. Fourth, note down the important and repeated topics from scanners. Now I will highly suggest you, for a subject like JIGL, purchase a good scanner and find out the important topics. If you are somebody that you say that I cannot memorize lot of things, lot of sections, and students actually fear of studying JIGL because they say that yes, the subject is very vast and how will we study and how will we remember sections. And as I told you in the last point also, that remember important sections only, but how would you know which is the important section? That comes out from scanners. So trust me, buy a good scanner, buy a scanner for JIGL, and find out from that what is important, which chapters, which topics are being repeated, which questions are being repeated. Like, it's very, very helpful for such subjects that carry lots of syllabus. Scanners always help a lot in scoring good marks and in passing as well, trust me. So I would highly recommend you to buy a good scanner. I will also leave the links to the scanners for JIGL in the description box, so that you can go and buy from the link given there, so that it's easy for you to find. That is why I say, and trust me, the students who clear, they have always went through scanners. Even when I conduct my classes on Unacademy, I make sure that one class relates to the past year questions also, because I know they are very, very important. And when I passed also, and when other students, whoever clears, everyone goes through scanners or guideline answers. It could be any. What happens is scanners are like easily approachable and they make the content very easy. What they do, they give you the chapter wise past year questions, but when you go for guideline answers, there they give you attempt wise. So that is why when you study chapter wise, that is more relevant and easy to know that what is being asked again and again and what is not being asked at all. So concentrate there and find out the important points and the repeated points. This should be very, very important point while preparing a subject like JIGL, and it will always help you. And you can even score exemption if you refer to the important points, important sections, and you quote it in the right way. It will help you. And fifth, practice question answers. Again, I cannot say this less. You have to practice it. Like always, practice all the illustrations given in study material, then from scanners, and then you can buy such reference books that offer you only question answers, because in the paper the questions are being asked. I tell this to all the students, whether you are like at foundation level or at inter level or executive level or at professional level, always make sure that you are practicing, right? Just learning or grabbing is not enough. Always use the technique of practicing question answer format, so that whenever you come across any question, you should be able to answer it. So these were my 5 points, and one bonus tip that I want to tell you is that when you are studying a theory subject, of course you are making short notes, but learn it by writing. As much you write, that much you will remember. Always remember that. You cannot remember everything when you're doing it orally. It goes in your mind, but it never retains there, and we have to find such a method that it retains in your memory. And for that, it's highly suggested that write down when you're learning. Whenever you are learning, even when you have made the short notes, keep a rough notebook, and when you're practicing, when you're learning, just write it down. Keep writing. As much you'll write, you will memorize, and you will actually realize that you will remember more than you remembered without writing, learning without writing. So it's very, very helpful that especially when you go through theory subjects, write while you practice. Keep writing when you're learning, that it retains in your mind and you memorize it alongside as well. So these are my few points for preparing JIGL. I hope it helps. Because it's a complex subject, I would highly suggest you to look for important points, important topics, and repeated questions. In these three things, you will definitely clear JIGL very easily. So focus on all these things and find these things from study material, scanners, and good reference books. So that is it from my side. I hope you liked the video and you found it informative. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done it yet, and I post a video on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Feel free to check the content I create. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you have not done it yet. Share my video with your friends as well, so that they could get something or the other from my videos. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. And I will see you in my next video. Keep studying, keep preparing, stay blessed. Bye.